People, welcome to my TED Talk. I'm going to try to keep it brief. Or not. Who knows, bro? I'm long-winded, man. I can't help it. Now, in this video, I'm going to prove why the Joe Budden Podcast Network experiment, as presently constituted, is going to fail. Now, let's play a game, though, before we get into it. Comment down below a network that you know that onboarded new host, had internal conflicts within the host, had the host pocket watching the owner, and had the host and the owner's beef. A lot of y'all said no jumper, so fine, let's go with no jumper. Let's use no jumper as the example. We seen where the internal conflicts led no jumper. Eventually, the internal conflicts engulfed no jumper like a flame, and it took no jumper and Adam moving away from that business model for no jumper to now be having more success than it ever had in terms of numbers. But even though no jumper learned from their mistakes, it looks like there are now copycats. There are now networks trying to emulate that formula that made no jumper the talk of the town for a good 6 or 7 months. And one of those networks is the Joe Budden Podcast Network. See, Joe Budden criticized how Adam ran his business and his business model for quite a long time.
It's kind of interesting. What did you think about the content game and space getting to where, you know, hosts getting spat on, people getting slaps, fades outside?
I won't ever run my business that way. I won't ever invite people that I believe would behave that way. I'm not telling anybody how to run their shit. I would never get into it.
The money is incidental.
She's talking to you.
Guess what happens? 100 of those interviews equal what?
Right, okay.
$1 million fucking dollars. Right. And if I do enough of these fucked up interviews like you had 4 of them.
Fucked up? Now you're saying that my interviews are fucked up?
Meet the man that killed King Von. Did y'all fucking meet him?
That's a news story.
Did y'all meet him?
My question is
that
you somehow think that the title is offensive.
No, the title is not offensive. The title is
the whole thing.
No, it's not offensive at all.
It is offensive.
No, it's not. It's not offensive to me.
Yeah, meet the nigga that killed this nigga.
Time out. The title is misleading. Did y'all fucking sit down with him and meet him and interview him?
No.
Exactly.
I wasn't even in the video. I didn't title it.
It's your network.
You got a lot of slow staff. He's a fire staff.
I don't think there's anything wrong with the title.
Them 12 niggas is gonna get you caught up in some shit.
I don't think there's anything wrong with that title. Like, I can't believe that you guys think that's so offensive.
Joe would even do entire segments on his channel whenever No Jumper go through some drama saga, like when Almighty punched Kelpie. Joe did a whole segment on it. When AD and T-Rail left, Joe actually invited AD on to talk about it, right? So Joe was engulfed and obsessed with No Jumper drama. Now, he would criticize Adam publicly, but deep down inside, Joe Budden was obsessed and admired Adam's business model and how Adam was able to build a successful network.
So, Adam, I admire the business that you've built, and I don't think any idiot could do it.
Yeah, but there's a clear content model that both of them have. Zeus has one, it's working. Adam has one, it's working.
I think Adam say he's making $2 million a month, man. I'm a pocket watch. It's like my biggest.
I can't say anything.
Joe Budden kept hearing from academics that Adam was making $2 million a month, and he thought to himself, I need some of that, bro. Oh, I need that check, man. You telling me, I got to do is start a network, find a host or some host that's contentious and have them beef with each other, and I'll make millions like Adam? Oh, no. I need that, bro. And Joe had the perfect host in mind for his network, Queen's Flip. You see, Joe announced the hiring of Queen's Flip on December 22nd of 2022 when Queen's Flip made an appearance on a Golden Child episode of the Joe Budden Podcast. Now, they announced it like Queen's Flip would be a part-time co-host of the Joe Budden Podcast, and he'll be on some episodes, but not all episodes. That quickly changed to Queen's Flip will be on every show as a full-time host, and that quickly changed to Queen's Flip will also have his own show on the Joe Budden Podcast Network called Improper Improv. Now, there's different speculations as to exactly why Joe Budden brought on Queen's Flip and the other new host. Some say it's so Joe Budden could light a fire under his existing co-host, who is pretty much treating their Joe Budden podcast hosting, gig as a job, bro. Like, one of the co-hosts called Ice specifically has absolutely no passion for this podcasting niche, man. Bro has been open and honest, like Honest Abe, open and honest that this is just a gig for me, bro. You feel me? I'm not here for no kumbaya. This is not my passion. It's a job for me, bro. I don't even like podcasting like that.
As long as I'm here because this is my job. I have bills. I have needs. Not a fan of podcasts, period. So me not being a fan of podcasts, it's hard for me to even listen to one to figure out what was good, what was bad, what didn't translate well, what did translate well. For me,
what if Joe told y'all one of y'all take a few pods off?
All right, listen, you can tell me take a month off. Long as my check stay the same. I keep trying to explain. This is the part that y'all keep missing, bro.
Podcasting is clearly not what that man want to do. That man is on that Joe Budden podcast to collect the check. So Joe brought on Queen's Flip, who is passionate about everything he does, who put 1,000% energy in almost everything he touches. He brought on Queen's Flip knowing that this firecracker is, gonna explode and clash with the present hosts, Ish and Ice. Joe Budden was intentional with the hiring, and he's been intentional in creating internal conflicts between the hosts. You see, Joe Budden went from criticizing No Jumper to creating another No Jumper, the old version of No Jumper. Now Joe Budden podcast, his network, has internal conflicts.
Shit that ain't gonna run out in no time.
I can't ask you a
like
question.
One of the Volt batteries.
Why do you think you the realest nigga breathing?
I don't think that's what.
Like, we gotta stop that. You act like you the fucking Don Dada, like everybody else up here is a fake nigga, but you. You not the realest nigga in the room. Stop doing that. Like, you the go-to nigga, like, yo, everybody else up here is fronting except you. That's not the facts, my nigga.
That's his brand.
I know, so we gotta stop it because it's demoralizing us like we some bitch-ass niggas, and that's not the case, Flip.
You want to do the yelling shit, yeah.
You yell every time you do it.
You do it.
I don't do shows. I don't do that, my nigga.
You do it.
You bugging.
I dumb myself down, nigga. I don't put on shows for nobody.
You talk the most reckless and talk down on niggas the most. Who the fuck you talking
Name them.
bro?
Name when.
You do me, nigga.
I talk down on you.
And a nigga ain't gonna talk to me like that outside. That's the truth.
Who talks down on you?
Fuck all that other shit for the camera. Let's talk the truth, nigga.
But I was getting attacked.
That's the truth.
I don't know.
And when the hosts are now quarreling among themselves naturally, you would have Joe come in and instigate a quarrel. Like this situation right here, where they're on the balcony having a conversation and Queen's Flip is asking Joe Budden, the boss, yo, I want to come in the film at 8 a.m. Can we do that? Joe's like, I want to do it, but those two other guys right there, those lazy dudes don't want to do it, so go confront them. And Joe instructs Queen's Flip to go ahead and confront Ice and Ish, and this happens.
It's beautiful out here. Nah, it's a vibe.
Good morning, yo, Queen's Flip.
I wish we could take like a summer off, like no pod for the summer.
That's if we come here 8 in the morning. Yo, listen, I'm trying to get 8 in the morning. He don't want to do 8 in the morning.
Who don't?
He don't want to do 8 in the morning.
Who don't?
I'm trying to get next year.
Who don't want to do 8 in the morning? Go. Come on, let's ask them if we could go in there, if we could record at 8 in the morning.
I would be here.
Ask them if they would.
Mel would be here.
Just go in there and say,
no, why you
for the summer, so we could get the most out of our day, why don't we start earlier, like 8 in the morning, so we could leave earlier? Hold on, I want to see it too.
Hey, y'all got a request, y'all. I got a request, y'all. Hey, I got a request. I need y'all to listen real quick. So, for the summer, so we get the most of our day, why don't we come and record 8 in the morning? Oh. Hey, for real. Ice. It's gonna be hot. We have a child. Here you go, bringing up the kids.
No, they bring up the kids, nigga. It's life.
It's life. I'm not. No, I can't respond. I'm just saying, Ice, it's a summer.
I have responsibilities.
I don't know.
And we live far from here. That rush hour traffic be a bitch.
You have to fully understand the dynamic of a workplace to even understand why that was really problematic what Joe just did. You see, Queen's Flip being a new guy and coming into a workplace with customs, traditions, and norms is Queen's Flip's job to assimilate. But what Joe Budden did was Joe Budden put Queen's Flip, the new guy, he gave him a bunch of control and say, go confront those old guys about changing their norms and customs. So now when Queen's Flip confront those old guys by changing their norms and customs, now they see Queen's Flip as a threat. They see like, hold up now, bro. Like, oh, okay, so you came here in a workplace. Us as employees, we're sticking together. You see, Ice has a child. Ish is having Ice's back saying, nah, bruh, we can't film at no 8 because Ice got a child. Queen's Flip is coming in trying to disturb that. So now they seeing Queen's Flip as an opposition. opposed to all employees sticking together and the boss is the outsider, they now see Queen's Flip as the outsider. But his instigating between his hosts didn't just stop at Ish, Ice, and Queen's Flip. He would actually instigate a situation between Ish and Mel.
Mel, who you pick?
Yo, Ish. Yo, watch yourself.
Pick me.
Yo, stop. We can't. All right, next question. Next question. Yo, what is wrong with y'all?
All right, let's get the internet in a tizzy. Ish.
Oh, yes. We are out of here. To infinity. Hey, Chigs, you know what to do, Chigs.
That's a clip where they was playing a game of who you would spy on for a day if you was invisible. Ish asked Mel who she would pick. She said Ish, being really playful and banterful. Now, Joe Budden took that opportunity to tell the blog pages, Chicks Moves, and others, yo, clip this and continue to spread this narrative that Ish and Mel is flirtatious. Now, Joe Budden would even go as far as to title like certain clips, Ish, Mel, Love Triangle, playing into this narrative that Ish and Mel is flirtatious or they are an item while Ish has a girlfriend at home. And what we seen play out, or what the product was from Joe Budden instigating or pushing this narrative that Ish and Mel was a married couple and they was flirtatious at the workplace, him pushing that narrative consistently and pushing the button led to Melissa saying something very inappropriate that made Ish super uncomfortable and upset. So upset that he didn't even show up for the following podcast. Now, what did she say? We don't know because they bleeped it out.
Oh, she's gonna be lit. She just drunk as shit and handed back to him.
Kind of tastes a little bit like.
Y'all drink after each other?
I cough syrup.
We do not.
Do y'all? I didn't ask you. Do y'all drink after each other?
You may need this dish. We do not. Nigga.
I didn't ask you though.
I'm answering you though.
Okay, but Mel, have y'all ever?
Shit, yo.
I got it.
Holy shit. What the fuck is going on? This is what you be doing. Stop! Stop, bro!
After she said that, apparently Ish was visibly upset even after the podcast. And when they was taking the elevator down, he was even more upset and visibly like distraught. Now, Joe clearly having a big hand in why that moment took place and why there was some type of sexual harassment. Because yes, what Melissa did was sexual harassment. Right, so Joe playing a big part in sexual harassment in the workplace. He now came back to following pod and try to play this. Oh, I don't know what happened. Oh, bro, I was watching the episode back and I seen what she said and I want to give her a call. Well, he was the one who we just saw instigate the whole thing.
How you doing?
I almost called her about it too.
What? Tell me.
No.
Come on. Yes.
No.
Oh, you about that?
I almost called her.
Should have.
Man,
I told you.
Man.
If you have a man, Mel, let me ask you a question.
He's dying right now.
If you have a boyfriend,
yes,
a man that listens to the podcast,
uh-huh.
And I said, yo, nigga, Mel.
Let's get them all, buddy.
I got him.
Come on.
And he hears that. How do you think he would feel?
We can work around him.
He would probably be like, huh? Really? Is this what's popping going on at the...
And then what if there was a narrative that was painted for pod purposes that me and Mel stand by microwaves together, we go outside. What if this narrative was painted and I might have been questioned and then now you're confirming something that is next level?
But that's the thing. Joe shouldn't be painting no pod narrative that these two are messing with each other when one have a significant other for content purposes. Joe is fanning the flame, pitting co-hosts against each other, all for content. But we see what that leads to. We see how that ultimately ends up. See, Joe should learn from who he's copying. Now, at No Jumper, we've never scripted anything as it seems that Joe is. You know, our beefs, our arguments, our quarrels has always just been genuine reactions or genuine storylines of people just not liking each other. It's never been scripted or premeditated. Now, we transition, though, from the host going at it to now the host is disrespecting Joe Budden himself and they're making it content. Now, at the beginning of this video, we've listed 3 reasons why this will fail. host-on-host issues, host versus the boss, and then pocket watching. Those are the three aspects to which most network fails. Now, we already cleared the host-on-host beef. Now, let's get into the host-on-boss, a la Queen's Flip and Joe. Now, if you guys don't know, recently Queen's Flip and Joe was on a pod together, and Joe brought up that Queen's Flip borrowed some money from him in the past. Queen's Flip felt as if Joe was trying to play him, and Queen's Flip went off. Now, Joe being Joe, he for sure cut out that part where he was being cussed out by Queen's Flip. But he suspended Queen's Flip, and they spoke about it on the podcast.
That's what improv.
Why did you tell me to take? Why did you suspend me for 3 pods?
I can't tell you because it's on my episode on Patreon.
Got him.
Coming out tomorrow.
Yeah, there you go.
I gave that to you already.
There you go.
I gave it to you.
Why did you suspend me?
Nah, they got to pay here. It's on Patreon. You got to pay.
Go on Patreon, but can you give them a little tidbit? Why did you suspend me for 3 episodes off the pod? Why was I suspended?
Unprofessionalism.
Okay.
Right?
Okay, true.
You cannot go to work and curse your boss out in front of all of his staff. On air. Nowhere can you do that. Only with me do people come right to the network. Oh, nigga, fuck out of here. Flip this shit out. Niggas like my damn. Get the fuck out of here. Tape this damn.
If this Joe Budden told the old Joe Budden from like 5 years ago, yo, I suspended one of the co-hosts and the fans was asking me why, so I put it behind a paywall and made the fans pay for why I suspended one of the co-hosts of the show. That's just utterly insane. But I'll bring it down for you, right? On the Patreon, they essentially said that Joe exposed the fact that Queen's Flip had asked him for money on several occasions. Queen's Flip was tight about it. He felt as if Joe was trying to play him. So Queen's Flip went off, told Joe F you, and told his son to record it. That's what happened. All right? Now, the fight with Joe and Queen's Flip wasn't the only fight that took place that week. No. Queen's Flip got into it with one of the other boss. Now, if you guys are not familiar with the structure of the Joe Budden podcast, it's Joe Budden got a manager / lawyer who handles like most of the things regarding the podcast in terms of business, and that lawyer is called Ian. Well, apparently Queen's Flip and Ian got into a really tense moment on camera.
Go ahead, say it.
You're just
express yourself.
You do typical white people shit, man. Of
course it's
yeah. I am racist. I'm racist. Not towards you, but I'm just racist.
Why are you racist?
Because I believe in my culture. I'm not racist towards you because I love you, but I am a racist person. I feel like I wanted to point out anything that seems slick from the other race that I feel like is pulling wool over my eyes.
But then your whole operation is being slick.
Yeah, but that's going to that's going to stifle your whole existence.
Once again, that's
look what you about to do. Look what you about to do. He's about to agree with you. So look what you about to do.
Let me talk.
You want your boots licked by this coon.
Don't call him that.
A proud coon.
Do not call him that. That's racist. Don't call him that.
I am racist.
Don't call him that.
He is a coon.
I'm not racist.
Yeah, talk.
You'll do anything to sabotage a moment.
I will.
It's ridiculous.
I can make 1,000 more.
Who cares?
So now you got the co-host fighting. Now you have the host versus the bosses, all right, fighting. But I believe this is probably the ultimate sign that this won't last. And it's the pocket watching, all right? The one thing we learned from the old Joe Budden crew with Rory and Maul is that pocket watching ultimately broke them up. Well, Flip has also checked off that aspect of the show as well. So Queen's Flip has brought in sort of like the inner fighting, the drama, but Joe has ushered that in. Queen's Flip has butt head with, the superiors, but I believe that Joe is also responsible for that as well, right? Because he's pushing for that, right? He's pushing for the drama to put it behind a paywall and have people pay for it. But now Queen's Flip has introduced pocket watching. On the Patreon episode, Queen's Flip just outright told Joe, yo, how much you making? And he even hinted and suggested that Joe already got a deal for the podcast that nobody knows about. Because Queen's Flip is saying that, yo, I'm also a YouTuber, and I understand how YouTube numbers work and how ad revenues work. And if we as a podcast network don't have any ads at all, we don't believe in ads, then how are you, Joe, able to pay like 15 employees podcast host just from ad revenue and Patreon. It doesn't make sense at all. And Queens Flip confronted Joe about that.
But you ain't gonna tell people how you make money though.
I mean, with the ass kicking, you learn from it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I can tell you, I can tell you the cards. You got to play the hand. Come on, you want to do something? Come on. I see you acting like it's Wednesday. Come on.
I don't want to do nothing. I just said people don't know how
I work really hard.
Nah, but something.
I work really hard. That part don't get talked about enough.
Either when you got
if you're looking at me saying how does he make money? I'm answering. I work really hard.
All right, so either you funding a lot
of the guys here. It's the guys, nigga. What's up? G shit.
What I'm saying
Keep
is
it
that either, so it's two ways I look at it. Either when you got money, like say from Spotify or any other company that you're no longer with, you saved so you could put it into what you got to put it into. Like say if you got $3 million, you might have spent $500,000. You might have the other two, the 2.5. That's what I'm saying. Before you shake your head no, and you put that into your company. That's what I think.
Investing in yourself.
Investing in yourself, and then you get the money back on your own as far as the ads or YouTube or your other ventures. That's one. Or, nigga, you got some, you just an ill nigga that got a deal somewhere that niggas don't know about, and you just handling business.
Now, they laughed that off, but what I seen was something very similar to what Joe already went through with Rory and Mal, where they're accusing Joe of stealing money and hiding money. Now, I don't know the compensation agreement with Queens Flip and Joe, but with Ish and Ice, like, they're receiving, like, flat rates. So they don't even care if Joe is making $20 million a month, right? Because they get in flat rates regardless. Does Queens Flip have, let's say, a percentage? I don't know. I doubt it, right? But nonetheless, though, he's still pocket watching. Even though he's not getting a percentage, he's still pocket watching. Now, the one thing we know, bro, is once people start questioning where the money is going or how much money is coming in, and they start to estimate their value, it never ends well. Again, back to No Jumper, we seen once Adam says he made $1 million a month, that caused some conflict. So Joe, he started off though. Now Joe started off trying to do a network like Revolt. Now he's transitioning, trying to do a network like the Oh No Jumper. But here's the thing. You should probably learn from who you're trying to emulate. Right? You should probably learn from their mistakes so you don't repeat it. It took No Jumper, it took Adam saying we're no longer going to be about beef, we're going to transition and make it strictly content. And that's how No Jumper has been able to survive and be just as successful as it was prior to the host leaving. But right now, it looks like Joe is fully committed to monetizing from inner conflicts. And we all know how this is going to end. So, enjoy the show while it's here.